up, everybody? Happy Friday. Welcome back to the DIY Designer. I'm so glad you're here. If you've never been to this channel, if this is a brand new experience for you, my name's Orly Shani. I hope that you like what you see. I hope you subscribe to the channel. I do so many fun DIYs every single week. It's good stuff, man. You want to be here. I promise you want to be here. And for those of you that have subscribed, make sure you click that bell so you get a notification when I have a new video. Today's will not disappoint. Today's is like magic. It's reflective and bright. We are making a reflective trim corset. I'm so excited. So I was shopping downtown and I found this really sick reflective material. It's literally like a flashlight at night. It just completely shines bright. It's so cool. I was looking through old pictures in my like DIY saved album on my phone and I found this picture of Kylie. This is perfect. This is by a designer named Maison Margiela, and it looks like it's a corset over like a pair of shorts or a shirt, but actually it's one piece. This is a bodysuit, and he piped in the reflective trim in the bodysuit. Then at night, it completely reflects, or when you use the flash. I want to talk to you guys really quick about a brand new podcast that I started. I started a podcast. It's called Mommy Group, and I host it with two girlfriends of mine. They do beauty and food, and I do DIY, but it's no judgment zone mommy group. It's like real talk, real moms, real funny, real embarrassing. So I'll put the link down below, but I hope you guys subscribe to it. It's an absolute blast, and it's a brand new project that I'm really stoked on. So, all right, shut up, Orly. Alright, so for this project, I really recommend using a rotary cutter, a cutting mat, and a ruler. It's the only way to get those super clean, long strips that we're going to need for this project. So I'm starting off with my corset, and I'm basically just going to cover the existing boning on my corset. So when you get your corset, just take a look and measure how wide the boning is so you know how thick to make your strips. Now, the great thing about the cutting mat is that it's basically one giant ruler. So I line my fabric up against one of the lines and then line my ruler, and I'm able to create the perfect width. Take the rotary cutter, push down, and just slide, and it creates the most perfect, clean, consistent strip. You can see how nice and clean that is. We would never be able to get that with fabric scissors because we would keep cutting and moving along, and you would see those little lines. This is a step and repeat process. So just make about 10 of them. Now you do need one long piece cut on the bias, which is on the angle of the fabric, and that's because it's gonna go under our underwire, which is very curved. There are all of my pieces. You can see I just did about 5 or 6 long ones. We're gonna use Fabri-Tac for this. Fabri-Tac or Quick Grip is really what I'd recommend. Do not use hot glue because it's gonna leave kind of a thick line. Now go right over the existing boning with a thin strip of glue, take your trim, the pieces that you cut, and lay it down. You can see I've given myself about an inch overlap on the top, and that's super important. Now with your fingers, kind of round it around the curved edge of the boning. You don't just want it to lay flat, you really want it to hug the curves of the boning so that it looks like it was actually sewn in. Now cut off, again, leaving yourself about an inch of excess. When you guys add your glue, do a nice thin line. It's gonna naturally sort of spread out when you push down, but you don't want any excess. So if you put too much glue, it could sort of come out on the edges. Now for the time being, skip the one that's attached to the underwire, and you'll see why in just a minute. If you do get a little glue popping out, you have 2 options. One is to just get in there and clean it with your finger or a towel, or you could wait until it dries and then peel it off, almost like you do with mascara. Obviously, you can see this is just a step and repeat process. Right now, we are going to create this sort of second row. You see on Kylie's how she has like double curve, one on the top and one on the bottom. Well, my corset doesn't naturally have that line, so I wanted to create it because I really liked the way it looked. So decide how far down you want to go, and then basically just extend the boning all the way up into the bust. Now, when you add your trim, it looks like it was one long piece. So do it on the first one. Once you do your first one, you need to measure that and copy it exactly for your second one. Otherwise, the bust is gonna look uneven. So it's super important. Just put a pin so you know where to go, add your glue, slowly lay down the trim right up to that edge. And again, you're just rounding it around using your fingernail to get it into sort of the edges of that underwire. Okay, so now we're actually gonna adhere this second piece. We want that really clean seam, so start off just by like putting an inch or two of glue right where that sort of T is gonna be created. Lay it down so it's a perfect perpendicular seam and smooth it out with your fingers. Once you have that center seam done, now you can go in and sort of gently drop it down. You just wanna look at what's like a natural, soft slope based off the shape of your cup. Do obviously the right side, now peel back and do the left side. And again, you just kind of want to step back, look at it, see what lays flat, and that's it. Once you have it done, trim off right up into the underwire. Now we're going to do the second side. On the second side, again, you need to match your first one. So go in the center there and make sure that where it comes in the center, like right in the middle of your chest, that those two lines are perfectly even. We know that this one here is going to be even because we measured it and we're just sort of lining it up so it's a perfect seamless seam. Again, same thing for the other side. Take a step back, look at it, make sure they're even. Once you're good, cut off your excess. Okay, so now we're doing the underwire. This is the place that we cut the bias piece because it's like such an intense curve. If we didn't cut it on the bias, we'd end up with all these weird puckers and gaps. So lay it down, again, giving yourself that inch excess on the top. And you'll see as I do this, I sort of hold my fingers, like I spread my fingers out and hold them for a while it dries. You wanna make sure that it's laying flat, and if you don't hold it down for a little bit, it's gonna start moving on you. So I would say sit there, hold it, smooth it, keep doing that for probably 20 or 30 seconds before you move on to the next section. I'm gonna do the same thing to the other side. It's identical, so I didn't film it. There you can see, I've just done the same to both and they're laying perfectly smooth. Now this is the last part. We just have to do the very top piece. I realized that I wanted to hide the beginning of that piece underneath the underwire piece. So I just peeled back the underwire, laid this down, making sure that it's like right along the edge. We don't want to see any of the black corset peeking out, so make sure it's right on the edge. Again, you can see there that I just peeled back the inside and the outside of the underwire piece. There you can see, just to make sure that I was able to hide this top part underneath. Lay it down, smooth it out. That's really the name of the game here, smoothing it out, making sure everything is laying really soft. And we're good. Now all we have to do is fold back each of these little tails that we had. So add a little bit of glue, fold them down. And actually what I realized after the fact is that it was really helpful to just put a straight pin into each one so that it had all the time it needed to dry, because a couple of them popped back. Now I'm just relaying down those underwire pieces that I did on either end. So just lay them back down, creating a nice clean hem, fold it and hold it, and you're done. Freaking did it. I'm so excited. I swear I'm gonna look like a superhero, lady of the night, goth combinación. It looks pretty badass. I can't wait for you guys to see it in the light with the flash on. It's just freaking next level. Let's do this. Cool, Connor? Like a superhero, right?
Yeah.
Blakey, do you like it?
Yeah.
What do you think? Look it glows in the dark.
Whoa.